Okay. Uh, This is the October 6th regular Board of Selectmen meeting, 7:02. Let me just pull up everything here. All three selectmen are here. Jessica, thank you for joining us. Jessica Miller is also here. And Jessica, are you here from the
I'm just listening in. I saw an item on the agenda I was interested in, so I'm just gonna listen in tonight.
Oh, okay. Did you want to speak about anything tonight?
No, that's okay. Thank you though.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Hear from public? Anybody else want to speak from the public? Okay, I want to. All right, the next thing is for selectmen's briefing. I'll try to be brief. We have a lot to cover tonight. As you know, the Kettle Rock Wagon Shed grant was submitted on time. And we expect to have some kind of a response from the state in December. The Ashford School roof, we've already got that on there as a item, so we'll talk about that then. The paving project.
Catherine, would you mind fixing, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Here. Okay, sorry. Let me do this. First of all.
You don't have to move. I can see.
Yeah, I just want to grab this so that I don't have to read it off there. Okay. Can you? Just trying to bring this up again. Now that I turned around here, that kind of made a problem. Let's do this. All right. There it is. All right, Bill, can you hear me now?
I can't.
Okay, I hate to be the big head in here. Let's just turn this around a little bit. Okay. Public Works Facility Repaving Project. They've done the paving. It looks awesome. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to go down through there this past weekend. We will be handing out the stickers on Saturday, starting on Saturday. And then on Monday, we'll be handing them out from this office. Okay, Public Works has been working with the Connecticut T2 group, Training and Technical Assistance Center, and they expect to acquire 2 new free solar-powered speed signs for installation in town. Right now, we have one on Turnpike Road, and I believe we have one on North Road. So we could put 2 more up. The Rec Desk, cloud-based recreation software has been installed. It went live not today, but last Monday. And I applaud our both Noah King, our rec director, and Sherry Susie for how quickly they got it up. I know Noah was really motivated because he wants to be able to do I believe it's soccer signups, Wham soccer signups and whatever, and any other signups.
You said he's familiar with that system, right?
He was familiar with something like that system, and he took to it like a duck to water.
Okay.
Okay. And the 2 of them worked very well together. They worked with the company to get it up.
Now, is that something you thought that the senior center may be able to utilize in some way?
Yes, at some point in time, if we choose, we can have another section of it. It's all within the same thing, and bring up the senior center. Right
Same
now, let's make,
payment methods and all of that.
yeah, and have the reporting be for the senior center, their
Good.
financials, that kind of thing. What I think is important is to make sure we've got it working well for the rec department first.
Yep.
Okay, plans for changing, the town Zoom accounts. I've been working with, Mike D'Amato and with Savage, and Chris, I have this for you. On that, and looking at what we need to do to standardize our processes. And this is where we would have, the town would have their own Zoom accounts. And, bear with me. And Tyke would have access to help us with it because we've got a contract with Tyke that goes through the end of next year, December of next year. And then Zoom hybrid meeting upgrades. I had put this on a back burner a little bit, but we're going back in. We already have the information from Savage on the changes to the room. Chris and I went down, Sherry and I have gone down, looked at different options down there. And we think we have it solidified enough to go and start making those changes. And it will not only support our hybrid meetings better, but even our in-person meetings down there, because it'll still be, we can still put things up, there'll be multiple boards, so things are showing on. And I believe the acoustics will be better in terms of how that gets out.
Now, one of the meetings we were at down there, you said we were getting rid of that big table. What are we doing with it?
When we tried to get someone from Wellington to take it, I don't know if you were there when I was talking, when we
I
had
was
the other
there,
Wellington people here. Just we don't need it, and we don't have any place to put it or any use for it.
Have we
So,
offered it through the school?
no, I didn't think to do that, but I will. Okay, it's just an incredibly big cumbersome table, and if you stop and think about the rooms that they've got there, I don't know how well it will fit, you know,
Yeah,
in
It
there.
was just, that was the first I had heard of that, and I was wondering.
Yeah,
if anything
and the
further can be done.
rationale is that it's just big and cumbersome, and it does not lend itself well to the kinds of changes we want to make. It also doesn't lend itself well to ensuring that that room is flexible enough that you could pull the tables back, whatever, for some other function in there. So it's a kind of making sure of that.
It would fit perfectly on your back deck.
What was that?
It would fit perfectly on his back deck.
There you
It's
go.
huge.
You haven't seen my back deck lately.
Okay.
One of the, when they were designing that, I know Ralph was involved with that, why that table was there, you know, we have that large petition
Oh, yeah, we've taken that into account.
that they were thinking that table could be used, you could use two rooms, and that small room could be a board meeting, a more private meeting.
Well, actually, when it comes to that table, that's one of the reasons you want to get rid of it, because where it is and with how we have the divider, there is really no room. If you're sitting at that table, your back is against the curtain thing. And I also reviewed the changes for the room with the EMDs. Okay, we were down there doing a tabletop exercise with the state, and I took them through what the changes would be. And they were keen on the fact that there would be more room in that smaller area when you pull the curtain. If you have tables that are not as wide, and there's a lot of wasted space on that
Yeah.
big table, not as wide, and it's even a little longer when you put two of the other tables together. So, okay. Weekly chats with the First Select. Those are on Wednesdays from 4 to 6. And so some of the concerns that have been raised, peddlers, concerns with peddlers walking around on homes and properties when nobody's there, or well, when they don't go up to the doorbell, they're walking around on the property. I've had a number of complaints. I've had a couple of complaints in particular from women who are alone, where you can't see the road you can't see the house from the road.
I know Frontier had a lot of.
So here's what I
condescending
did.
on-
I first of all, I reviewed the peddlers licenses, the peddlers permits that we have. And they have a picture of each person on each one. And there were 12 issued for a company that's representing Opal, representing Frontier, doing their kind of marketing or whatever. So very interesting, aside from the complaints from people about their aggressive sales tactics, I mean, really aggressive. The when I was looking at the pictures, like first of all, someone came to our house when I was not there. I was at work. And my husband dealt with the person. So two people came to the door. One of them, we found out, had the permit. The other one was a Frontier person who didn't have a permit. They also made up tags that show like an Ashford, like it's almost not the Ashford seal, but like an Ashford symbol, making it look like they've got those. Well, that Frontier rep did not have a permit. So it was the person that did have the permit only said hello. It was a young woman. The person from Frontier then did a sales pitch on my husband. Well, my husband has years and years of marketing experience. So for him, it was kind of amusing as it went on. A couple of the things that happened were, one, the person asked for our Spectrum account number. Second thing was, and my husband, he tolerated that. But then when the Frontier rep said he wanted Jeff to make a decision right then. And Jeff said, I'd really like to talk to my wife before we make this decision. And the other guy was going, no, this is a one-time deal right now, that hard sell. And he kept pressing him. And Jeff said, bye, and kicked him off the property. These people also were not leaving when people told them to leave. They were just arguing and sticking around. So Karen had two people. Karen in our town clerk's office is the person who issued the permits. There was nothing wrong with her doing that. She did exactly what she should do. And she issued 12 for this Opal company to represent Frontier, none to Frontier, only to those Opal people. And when she brought up the copies of all of them for me so that I would have them to see who the people were, because people were going to be coming in to chat during that select chat. And I wanted to be able to say which ones were offensive. And so when she looked at it, well, first of all, she said that two young women had come to her home and they were very polite. And she said she wasn't interested and they left and they were just very polite. They stepped back and everything. They weren't right in your face. And I said, which ones were those? They didn't have permits. So we don't know who they were. And some of the stories were, for example, two of the women had, one had, person came up, she was up at her barn with her horses, had her dog started barking. The guy's walking around the property. Just walking around the property. It's 7:45 at night, getting kind of dusky. And so she went down with her dog and everything. She's talking to him and he's doing the sell. And she said no, and he wouldn't leave. And then finally she got him to leave. So I believe it was the next day, 5:30 at night, a different person came around, walking around the property. And this time the person was more aggressive in terms of their sale. And what she said, look, I want you to leave my property. Okay. And I believe she told him more than once. So then he said, can I have a bottle of water? Well, I have to tell you, if I was alone and some guy is there doing that and expects me to go up to the house, and maybe he's going with me, I don't think so. So she said no, and he left. Another guy called me and he said, and there were two women that had this kind of an experience. Guy calls me and he says, you're not going to hear this story from anybody else. And he said, peddler, it was again, Frontier or Opal. And person came, his wife was working on the back deck. He wasn't home, on the phone, on her computer, working. And the salesperson wouldn't leave her alone, the peddler. And the husband came home and he kicked him off the property. Well, the next day, somebody else came. And this time the husband called out and said, he was there. He said, I'm indisposed. And what the peddler did was came around and looked in the sliders, the guy's sitting naked in his living room, which he can do. All of us can do. But this was that kind of aggression in terms of not taking no for an answer.
I mean, have they kind of moved on? Because I haven't.
This is what I did. I called the Opal people. I looked for their senior people and called. I also called, I looked at Frontier, the CEO for Frontier and his top tier 6 vice presidents. And I picked the commercial one and called that office and left a voicemail. I left a voicemail for both companies.
Mhm.
And Opal called me back the next day, which is good. Frontier did not, but my complaint was the sales tactics they were using. And I also had left a pretty pointed message with Frontier about their people were actually also out there without permits. And again, the sales tactics way too aggressive. So I read the riot act to the Opal company and told them that their bear with me, their permits are rescinded because of the number of complaints. And we need to, I believe, we need to take a really good look at the ancient write-up that we have for peddlers permits. It's $2 for a week, $10 for a year. It's from, I don't know how far back, but I really think we need to take a good look at it and see if we can either get rid of it. They've got other mechanisms for doing peddling. And remember, we also had another person that was out selling books that a lot of people liked. This guy really liked him. But then there were others who said, you know, he came to my house 9 o'clock at night and he'd already been there. That was the 3rd time he's pounding on the door. And with that one, I had called him and talked to him. That was probably about 6 weeks ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago. And I let him know, I said, look, one, I want to understand how long you think you'd be marketing here in town, canvassing in town, because I knew he was doing Wellington and other towns as well. So I said, here's the issue. We're getting complaints about what you're doing. You need to understand that in Ashford, we're a rural community. And the only people who go to a person's house before 9 o'clock in the morning or after 7 o'clock at night are their family, their friends, or their neighbors, in all likelihood, to let them know there's a problem. Okay. And I said, you could literally get shot because they don't know who you are. You come in at dark, you're pounding on their door, yada, yada. How long do you anticipate that you're going to continue canvassing in Ashford? And he, at that point, he kind of went, the following Friday. I said, thank you. So I'm assuming that we won't see or hear about you after that.
I had Frontier come to my place twice, one day.
How were they?
He was a nice young man.
Was it Frontier or was it Opal?
Well, he
Whatever.
said Frontier when I pushed him, but I had to push him,
They should be literally showing you.
but he
the-
had no badge.
Right. Well, they, doesn't matter. Did they have a shirt that said
And-
Frontier?
And the second time he came back, I said to him, what do you, and he says, well, I need an answer. And I said, well, no.
Good.
And I said, have you gone down to the town clerk and got your permit to do this? And he said, I think my boss did. And I said, you better make sure he did.
Every one of them had to show up in person and sign and give their, you know,
There
information.
was a team that was playing. They were, started the Exeter Mart and they were down, I don't know, Knowlton Hill Road, and they,
If you saw a person with a Frontier shirt on, that person did not have a permit.
yeah.
Only the Opal people, and only 12 of them had the permit. So,
But,
and
no, we need to take a
one
look at
really
that.
good idea that somebody had is if we still allowed peddlers, what we could do is we could have a kind of like a do not call list where the people in town, residents, if they don't want someone coming knocking on their door to peddle something, I'm going to leave out campaigning for now, knocking on their door to peddle something, they can provide their address. The town can maintain the addresses, no names, just the addresses. And that would be part of whatever ordinance change if we were going to do it. But any peddler who got a permit would be given that list. And if they went to a house that was on that list, they would get fined.
I think it definitely needs to be updated. I think a do's and don'ts, like if we're gonna issue a permit, they have to sign, and it says no one after a certain amount of time, this time of day, no one before this time of day. Put some guidelines,
Yeah.
do's and don'ts.
Well, I think it's gonna
9
take some more discussion. But these were
obviously
people who were really taking it too far. We also had Omaha Steaks, they're out there selling, and they don't have a permit. And there is some other company, I can't remember which one, they got a permit a while back. It was for a year, and I can't remember the name of that
Yeah.
company. So, anyway, it certainly got enough complaints about it. The other one that came up was blight. And there were concerns about several properties in town. You know,
We
we
can
know
all
where some of
guess
those
who those
properties
are.
are. And at this point, we're kind of looking at what other rural communities have in place to address the issue. Because, you know, we want to make sure that our farmers are not adversely impacted if we go to make some kind of a change like that. There are a lot of municipalities that have a blight ordinance. But you really want to be very, very careful about what you do with that. You're not really looking to disenfranchise businesses that really, you can't keep everything tidy. I will tell you that I had someone call to complain about, a while back, to complain about a place on one of the roads out here. It was a farm. And I went up and down that road, back and forth, 3 times. I couldn't find the place they were talking about. And what I realized was that there was a kind of a barn near the road, had a farmer there, an old farmer, some chickens. Didn't look like blight to me. So that's just it, how do you define blight?
Lights in the eye of the
Just,
beholder.
quick question. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going on with the car dealer or whatever?
The
Okay,
way one station,
Yeah,
I was just, Linda and I went by there today, we were wondering what the hell was.
are they
going on.
doing,
Yeah.
they're not doing anything right now.
No.
They put a
But there
lot
was
of
a-
money into
but
it,
there
and it
was a
just
notice
seems like
and
it
then-
stopped.
they
I
put the
believe,
notice up and
I
everything
believe if you
stopped.
looked at planning and zoning minutes, you'd probably see
Okay,
some of what's been conveyed to them. Okay, so I don't want to go too far
Right.
afield.
all right, that's all.
Because we do
I
have a
just
lot
wanted to
on
know.
here.
I'll-
That's kind of an overview. I
Yeah.
think there was one more thing and I can't remember what it was, but that's kind of an update on those things.
Right.
All right, moving along, we have listed here a whole bunch of minutes to get approved. We have what says July 4th minutes, that's the wrong date, they're really July 7th. We're kind of looking at those again. The July 21st minutes, we have the Zoom. We're trying to make sure that we know where the minutes are for that one. But we definitely have the Zoom, so the public can see what was said and acted upon. The August 11th and August 27th minutes, you have copies of.
Yep.
And the regular, the minutes for the May 19th meeting, you also have. So what I'd like you to do is look at I know you received them, but if you take a look at these, the 11th, the 27th, and then the May 19th minutes, if we could get those approved or revised or whatever you want.
I will move acceptance of the August 11th meeting,
Thank you, sir.
the 1 o'clock meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The August 27th minutes.
I'll move to accept. Mr. Folletti was not here, so he,
Okay, so. Oh, that's fine right here.
that's.
Yeah.
So I'll move to accept.
I'll second that. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
I'm abstaining.
Yes,
I will move the May 19th meeting minutes.
thank you.
And meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you, Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. We'll get those other ones straightened around for us. Okay, here for boards, commissions, committees, we don't have anything in particular. We did get an email, and I don't know if this was in their packet, Chris, but the email about, I've got it here. A recommendation that Laura,
Down the list. It's on the list.
right,
of
I'm just letting you
appointments.
know, I'm just letting you know that we got the email.
They have, put it in boxes.
Perfect. So you've got the email about the Conservation Commission, Angela Burns' interest in that position, filling an alternate position. Okay, Ashford School Replacement Project status. There's been, we have the warranties. We have, we got a, something from the architect approving the roof. But he also provided some additional information to change the financials. So we are going through that because, you know, one of the changes was the very first financial, which is, you know, the very first
Change order.
bid, if you estimate. And so looking at all of that, looking at some of the, you know, unfortunately for us, for the town of Ashford, we kind of ended up in a friction-filled relationship between the architect, the general contractor, and Garland. And it is not of our making. This is apparently happened in some other towns. We have since received some information about that. And this is something we may want to speak about in executive session.
Kath, in the last meeting, we discussed this at all. You had said that the contractor had submitted the warranty and it was in the attorney's review.
Yes, the attorney.
You said you were gonna give me a copy. I never saw
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. And actually what we're finding is, even today, Chris was taking me back through the architect's, what do we call that thing? It was it was a book.
The plans that they, school construction grant plans that were submitted to the state for review and approval. So the attorney went through that and then we went through it.
And we're having him go through the warranty that we got from the, bear with me, the
Taylor.
warranty.
We got two
For-
warranties. and
Okay,
one
but the
of them you gave me a
warranty
copy.
that the general contractor oriented warranty was one that was written by Garland and signed by the architect, signed by Imperial. So,
And
Right.
attached
and
to
attached,
Garland's warranty.
well, no, it didn't, it came in first.
What they,
It came-
he sent
came in
us a
first.
copy after he signed it.
Then I chased down Garland for their warranty. And so what we're looking at, are there conflicts between these warranties? Because it doesn't make sense when you have a contractor warranty that is in that book for 3 years, and you have the things say 2 years that we received,
Mhm.
and you then have a Garland warranty that's for 30 years. It's for the entire roof.
Well, one's for workmanship and the other one is for material.
Yes. Did you get it?
Yes.
Good man.
So if you could just give me a
Lost
copy
it
of that.
there.
We
Of
will,
what?
we will provide you copies of all the warranties we received. The maintenance plan, which I have an issue with because it kind of looks like we'd be on the hook for annual maintenance and it would have to be done by Garland,
Garland.
which we didn't receive before. I had to chase them down to get the warranty. I wanted something before that to see what they had. And then the maintenance plan, when they sent the warranty, they didn't send the maintenance plan. And then there is some back and forth on that maintenance plan when it's being looked at by somebody else. So the back and forth through the emails and whatever have been, you know, if your hair wasn't white, it would be.
now.
Okay, I think I'm losing hair, but it's the fighting that they're doing amongst the fighting they're doing amongst themselves, and we're in the middle and trying to get them to a good place. So we're working with town council, okay, to take a look at it. That's all I'm gonna say at this point.
That's why we pay an architect. He's supposed to do all of that stuff beforehand for you.
Well, if you can only imagine
I can
receiving,
imagine.
if you can only imagine receiving something at the point in time where he's going, project's done,
Yeah,
completed,
right.
and you got a revised financial thing,
Oh, never mind.
okay?
Freaking solar
For
panels.
something you hadn't heard about before. Okay, and then the Ashford School solar project status. We prepared the RFP, we prepared the PPA. The ZREC was set to expire. We couldn't get another extension for October 1st. So we are working with the solar rep, if you will, our owner's rep,
Mark,
Mark, to we can put the RFP out there. I've held off a couple of days in putting it out there because I want to make sure that, first of all, it seems that they're a little confused. I think that our owner's rep is thinking you don't have to put the RFP back out there. Let's just negotiate with, a bidder that we had before. That's not how we operate. And trying to get that across, again, hearing, okay, well, we could try and go for yet another fourth extension on the ZREC. Unlikely we'd get it. And then we heard it would only be for 3 months. Well, you can't get the thing up in 3 months. So that's not going to happen. There are alternatives that are like CRECs that these companies, the providers are work with. And so that's an aspect of it. I personally, I can tell you the building committee wants the RFP to go back out there, the revised one, skinnied down. And they want, so that we can see who's going to bid and what would the savings be? Because there's no way to find out what the savings would really be until we have a bidder tell us what they're going to bring to us. So,
are you aware that the building committee never filed minutes with the town clerk?
do they
don't
normally?
meet. They don't meet,
No,
So there's never been a meeting?
not for a long time.
no, I have some minutes from a meeting where I had a meeting with them as part of the roof project. Okay, where I had a separate meeting from the meetings that we had that were documented as part of the roof project that were, put out into a Dropbox, along with pictures of progress and reports from Garland and from, bear with me, STV. And I can't remember what we had from Imperial.
Right. I mean, at this point, the building committee is Jim, John Calories,
Cindy,
Cindy,
Mike,
Catherine, Mike Melody. And they're copied on all the emails that go back and forth and correspondence.
But my understanding was that during construction with the roof and everything, there were meetings by that committee.
there
And
were.
that they were filed with the town clerk. When I checked with the town clerk, they said there were no meetings.
No. What we had were meetings that were the entire group, the architect, the general contractor,
And were there minutes?
STV. Yes, we had minutes, but these minutes were done by STV as our owner's rep and put out into the Dropbox for the entire project. Okay, and that was all put there because they were for information that could be used for the state. So, I'm trying to think, I can pull down from there.
Typically, if you have a building committee that's authorized by town meeting, like that building committee was, they follow the same format with the filing of minutes than any other.
We never heard that through the whole thing. And in fact, did we do that with the other building committee from years ago? That did this building?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that was done, I'm gonna say we had someone who served as an owner's rep for us.
Clerk of the
Yeah.
works.
We had a clerk of the works. We didn't have quite the same scenario as we have with this.
Okay, just
So-
asking.
Be glad to pull them down so that you can see, everything. And putting it out on, I don't know how we would put it out on the website. So,
But you got enough on your plate right now. I was just surprised to hear that.
okay. So anyway, what we will end up doing is putting the RFP back out there. The only thing is, what they had is the last version, they still had the ZREC information in there. And if in fact, we're not gonna have a ZREC, it should be taken out. So I sent them something about that.
Would it be possible to have Mark, and he can do it on Zoom, join us at our next regular meeting?
Yes, we do find that we have found that he is not necessarily concise in how he explains. You know, I know you know, Bill. We can do that.
I know Mark. and I
We
know
can, but he
how
also,
aggressive he can be.
yeah, he's
but-
also challenged us in terms of some of the processes we have to follow. For example, we had to have our insurance company review and approve what's in the RFP and the PPA.
Kerma.
Yeah, Kerma. And that took longer than planned. The first time, Chris was able to get them to do it quickly. This time it took over 4 weeks. I think it was even longer than that. So, we have a little bit of reservation about unleashing that. But if that's what you want, that's fine. I think that there's a lot of, when he's speaking in terms of the public being able to follow it, I think it would be very difficult for them to do that because of how he does it.
Sometimes it's hard for us to follow.
I know it is, and that's what, so, I don't know. Yes, we can do that. And is that what you want done for the next meeting? If so,
If
it'd
it's
have to be at the
available,
end
it's
of the meeting.
convenient. Yeah,
Or you could do it as a daytime meeting.
I would rather we did it as a daytime meeting. Where he
That's
could
good.
go through things and
do we have a daytime meeting?
we could set one up.
Okay, I have no problem.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, the next item, rescind funding motion approved at Board of Selectmen meeting of June 2nd, 2025 regarding the funding of lower level parking lot lighting. Review and accept revised town office building lower level parking lot lighting proposal. If you'll recall, we didn't have all the information from our electrician about what the installation cost.
My
would be.
recollection was, and it was before Alex got sick, and it was beginning of summer, and it getting dark early seemed a long time away from us. And it's here again. If we approved an amount up to $7,000.
Not to
Except
exceed
it's up
7.
to 8482.
It's 8482.
I will move that we rescind.
Yep.
Our previous, or we increase the amount that we
But 15
made it
bucks.
that amount by
It's 2 total,
the difference, the total, the new, with one qualification.
yes,
I'd like him to give us a drop dead date on when he's gonna do this. If not, we're gonna shop for somebody else.
exactly. Okay,
It
has been-
I like Alex, he does fine work, but this has gone on too long.
I agree. Okay, yeah, and
So
there's,
that's my motion.
so, with the
Seconded.
proviso, and that we require
We would
that,
like a completion
we
date.
require the completion date.
Because
So
I mean,
we
looking at the
talked about-
invoices from
We
August
talked
1st,
about not more than 10.
Well, yeah, what did we come up with as a total?
I got 848225
Right,
here.
but we talked about appropriating because he says price subject to tariff rate charges.
There could be some tariff charges, so can we make that 10?
10, not to exceed 10.
I will accept that as a friendly amendment.
Thank you. Okay, are we at a point in time where, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Thank you. Okay, new business, discuss and act on consideration of House Bill 5002. You do know that CCM and Connecticut
small town.
Conference municipality
cost
and cost.
have both, they've already submitted letters on this, okay?
If I can just give my little spiel and then
Yeah,
we can take, I asked if this.
I think
was
we're
put on.
all gonna be in agreement.
I think so too. This bill was passed by the House and by the Senate,
Yep,
and it was vetoed by the governor.
Yep.
And is presently on the governor's desk for reconsideration.
I thought it was
and
part of a
redoing
special,
it.
I thought it was part of a special session, they wanted a special session.
It's being looked at to be renegotiated. Our state rep voted against it, and
Yeah.
our state senator voted against it.
Yes,
And I'd like this board to consider taking a position notifying the governor's office that we too are in opposition of the bill as it was originally written. And my reason for that, I'm a strong believer in home rule.
Yeah.
I think we have far too many unfunded mandates shoved down our throats, and with nothing to be able to say about it. Having said that, I think we all recognize that there's a need throughout the country and the state, and even in our town, of affordable housing. But I think there are other methods to look at that through our home rule, through perhaps coming up with a fair rent commission, who would come up with recommendations locally and working with our own planning and zoning. The basis of this, the bill that was passed, takes certain guidelines
mm-hmm,
and regulations away from our planning and zoning commission,
mm-hmm,
which I am adamantly opposed to. We may not at all agree locally, but we certainly agree that that ruling should come from a local board and not from a mandate from the state, so.
I agree.
Big amen.
I think my thing is looking at it is that what's being proposed does not generate jobs. Jobs generate affordable housing. You don't put up affordable housing, like big affordable housing, in places that don't have jobs, that those people can work. It doesn't make
You
sense.
don't have the jobs, you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the I mean, there's a whole laundry list of things that,
And we already have a fair housing plan that was put together using a grant. Tyke put it together for planning and zoning in 2022. So,
amen.
Kiss
so
grits.
I think the three of us are in agreement on this. What I did was I was thinking, okay, well, what could we write for this that hasn't already been written?
Well,
And the thing is, NECOG, the
cost,
cost,
CCM,
CCM, those are our, we're part of
our
those,
local representatives.
our local representatives.
But
So-
my understanding is that 12 out of our 13 towns that are in our senatorial district,
Yeah,
and I don't know how they did it, but have all expressed to the governor their opposition to this bill, and I'd just like to be,
all right.
make it unanimous.
So, yeah, remember, well, yes, that's fine. I want to, perhaps you could help work on the wording for what we're saying. Because we have a lot going on here. I mean, this office is up to here. So when I already know that our state representatives, our representatives are the councils that we are members of, and I serve on the board for. When I already know that they have a bigger voice than we do when it comes to the
But
governor.
town, we need to go on record.
So when I look at that and I go, we've got a lot of other things we're doing here, coming up with what we want to put into this letter that is pertinent, is pretty time consuming. So compared to the fact that people have already done this for us.
I'm happy to draft something up if you want to.
Why don't you do that?
Until our next meeting.
Actually, I'd like it before then.
I'd
So-
like to be on record.
If you were to do that before then, that would be good. And then I can work with it as well. And I've already called around to do some checking with the other towns and they're like, hey, CCM and Cost did it, so we're not as concerned. Okay.
Cool.
But, you know, I think all three of us are of the same mind about
Good.
this. Okay. Discuss and act on driveway permit procedures, fees, and bonding. Chris, you put something in here about what was being recommended for a driveway permit
Yeah,
fee.
Bonnie it made a recommendation. I read it. I don't know if Roger had a chance, but I'm totally in favor of that. I know she said $1,000 with a $50 permit fee. A bond issue of 1,000.
I got it. Thank you, Chris.
Did she recommend two?
Yep, she said she recommends $1,000 bond and a $50 application fee.
Oh,
She
I
feels
got
that's
somehow
reasonable.
I got one here that says a town, $2,000.
That was,
Say to the,
which, it's got different towns.
no,
The town.
Here's what I've got directly from Bonnie on September 29th, because I asked her.
I don't know if paid is the right
Well, I've
term to
got
use on that
town
either.
of Ashford, and I've got $2,000.
This,
Chaplin and
but they're not using this.
Willington have,
This is the procedure. This is the procedure we would have, Chris.
Hmm.
They haven't been using this.
yes,
Yeah,
She's-
here, I've got this one, yeah.
she's recommending 1,000. I'm wondering if we want to consider. I would, I don't know where that form, I don't remember seeing that form Roger has there, but I don't think it should be paid to, it's a bond, refundable bond upon completion.
Actually, they give the bond before it's completed and it gets returned after the inspection.
Correct.
Right.
So it's not paid,
It's a check and we cash it.
It's a check that they send, that they give you when they file the permit.
We cash it
We
and
deposit
then
it.
we give them another check.
Actually, we don't even cash it.
Oh,
I could have sworn, well, we did for example, other things where we take a bond.
I seem to recall seeing a folder with a whole bunch of checks in that nothing had ever been done with.
Well, let's think about,
Well,
that may be how we did it before. How do we want to do it now?
that I think was different.
I think it's an auditor's question. I did then too. I think that there should,
Auditors?
or a treasurer.
Oh, you
can-
mean about whether we cash the check?
Well, how we,
Right.
what we do with the check.
Well, we got bid bonds with solar.
Right, and we cash the check.
I
No.
don't think so.
We hold the check until the bid is awarded.
I saw
And
a
then we
folder
hold
that
her the
Ralph
check.
had.
Can I just ask a question? How long do you hold a check, guys?
He put it in a folder and they don't do anything with it. That's what I saw.
How long
was
before the
folder.
bank
we
won't
shred them
honor
after
it?
a period of time, or what do we do?
I saw, I
I
couldn't
think
believe it.
Sherry-
It went, some of them
Sherry
went
said
back
something
10
like
years.
6 months or 9 months.
Okay, let's do
Check
this.
is good.
Let's confirm. Let's confirm how long you can hold a check before it's no longer valid. That's one. And then, what's,
My suggestion would be check with our treasurer,
that's what I'm talking about.
see what she would recommend.
Yep.
If you wanted, I mean, probably we should also ask our auditor.
Well, I'll
I
have
mean,
her,
typically
I
you
will
do
have
it, you
her,
put it into an escrow
she
account.
will ask the auditor. She's already working with the
Okay.
auditors. That works out pretty
Because
well.
typically it would be cashed and would go into an escrow account.
Okay,
If they didn't live
Yeah.
up to the bond or the requirements of what it is, then the town keeps that money.
so.
Otherwise, it's refundable.
So here's what we did with allowing the company to come in and go through Cadle Rock, part of Cadle Rock, to get to the landlocked lot in Willington,
Yep.
where they were doing, taking the trees down.
John Patton's, yeah.
Well, I'm not mentioning names, but it was kind of like, what we did was we cashed that check and then we wrote a check back to him when he satisfied all the requirements. That's why I was thinking that's how we do bonds.
We
I can't
probably
imagine
should
this.
be doing bonds similar to that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. So let's do this. We'll have Sherry check with the auditor about what is really the proper way to handle them. And she'll come back with that.
I mean, Eastridge doing 2,000.
Chaplin's doing.
Chaplin's doing 2,000. Andover must be rich. They're doing 500.
You know, what she didn't put on here, and I didn't think to ask, is what are we charging today?
Well, I don't know, is that,
No, that isn't the form. That's,
Okay.
I think that's a new form.
I
I think
wanna,
it's
I
new
wanna
form.
say 1,000
So
today.
if she goes with this form, do you want to change that to 1,000?
You just change the number.
Well, we're talking about changing that something, and I don't think it should be paid there's another word that we need there instead of paid.
Placed in escrow.
Escrowed.
Placed in escrow is probably, but ask
I'll find out.
Sherry and she
Yep.
can ask the auditors. I agree with the concept that it needs to be updated and organized. I'm surprised the auditors hadn't called that to our attention a long time ago.
Well, you know, when auditors come in, they target particular things, and each year they try to target pretty much different things.
Yeah.
A few of the basics, but other things as well.
And I appreciate Bonnie taking the bull by the horns and making a recommendation. That's sort of thing we need.
I'm looking her as really kind of overseeing that department. Everybody else there is a consultant. So, let's see, preliminary discussion regarding Ashford Academy repairs. I don't know if we put something in here. We don't have any estimates from them. What we did have is some information about,
I gave you the structural engineers report.
Yeah, does it have, I just briefly went over, it. Does it have the name of the structural engineer?
uh,
Does it have the name of the structural engineer?
Yeah.
I have it on there, so it's-
Elizabeth Ackley, Acley, and she's a PE. Okay. Cirrus Structural Engineering,
That's,
CIRRUS
Okay.
we on to the academy, or are we still talking about the driveway?
Academy.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
All right.
sorry.
So if you look, it looks like this,
Yep,
guys.
I'm here. You're here.
Okay. Anyway, what we don't have is, we really don't have any estimates around this. And when you're talking about making changes to that kind of a building, a historical building, you need a historical, Chris, you and I talked about this.
They were talking about a historical architect, and somebody, a contractor who does historical. It's all specialized.
Kind of thing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we need more information from them on this, and, but this is just to give you a sense of what they've
Yeah.
provided so far.
No, that's terrific. And I know they've been up there cleaning and
I actually
Also,
went up-
they had
Did
it open this
Well,
weekend.
I went up there Saturday morning, but
Did you?
I didn't, well, a couple things, okay? Because I wanted to see the gazebo.
oh, that's great. That came up great.
Yeah, except some of our sweet little urchins have sat there and doing hole shots on the deck. You can
Oh,
see
no.
it's,
What are whole shots?
with their little motor scooters or what have you, putting the front brake on and doing
Up on the
burnouts.
thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not major damage, not
That I
a little
haven't
coat of,
seen.
not a little
I
coat
saw
of
it
paint couldn't
pre that,
fix,
I
but you
guess.
can see that they're,
Oh, that's a shame.
yeah, that something's going on up there. We had an issue, I think, where the town, Public Works there's a big black mark where their mower got a little bit close and they knocked off one of the corners.
Recently?
Well, I brought it to this individual's
Because I went up
attention,
there when they
and
finished it.
they slapped on it, a 2x12, but they didn't paint it or anything. I'm just,
Thank you for letting me
no
know.
problem.
Yeah.
But you can see
I-
the big
I
tire
don't wanna
mark
be-
on the back from the mower.
All right, well, I'll have a conversation with Public Works.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know.
Jen Ricci said they had about 65 people.
What
And
time did they
Ann
start at?
stayed all afternoon.
This is on Saturday. What
On
happened is they
Saturday.
were open Saturday afternoon
Oh, it was
at
afternoon.
the
okay,
academy.
I-
You
I
couldn't
went
really
there.
go in
Yeah,
very far, but you could see.
Yep.
And so that's great that they had so many people and
Absolutely.
that much interest.
absolutely.
Plus, they also went out into the cemetery and
Good.
got information there, and our sexton has been working with them.
Yep.
So that was very good. All right, Board and Commission appointments. Economic Development, we don't have any. Our Ag Commission, we only have 2 members on our Ag Commission. 2. They can't even have a quorum. They cannot make a quorum.
Did we have a lot of resignations?
We had the Luthers.
And
I'm
his
sorry,
wife?
Luther and his wife resigned.
Mike Sabigo was on it, Luther was on it,
His wife was on it.
Megan was on it.
Is an alternate.
There's some other guy, I don't know who he is, so the only people left are Doug Jenny and
So basically, we don't have a commission.
No, we do not have a working commission. So, and I can't remember if as part of the election, candidates were put up to, no, because we appoint them.
right.
I do have a guy and his wife who's inquired a couple of weeks ago. I'll follow up with. I don't even remember his name,
Good,
but we should make an effort, maybe in the Citizen or something.
got it.
Oh, that's a shame.
And actually, we'll do it for that. We'll do it for the other ones as well. What we do have is Commission on Aging, the reappointments of Esther Lovell Jagadits, I can never say her name,
Esther,
Esther,
Jane Martin, Catherine Walsh Sampson, and Charlene Armitage.
so moved.
second,
Okay,
Aye.
I,
all in favor, aye, thank you. And thanking them for
Yes.
continuing on. Zoning Board of Appeals, we don't have anybody. Conservation Commission, Angela Burns would like to join the Conservation Commission as an alternate member. You have something in your packet about
There's an
that.
email
and
from Loretta
It was an email from Loretta
supporting it.
supporting it.
I didn't see that in my package, but I will make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, with our thanks to, for her filling that vacancy. Planning and zoning, no, we don't have anyone. Inland wetlands, we've got 3 full member vacancies that expired June 1st, 2025 to be. It says to June 1st, 2029.
Hendrick, Pysick,
And McCray,
Do they want to be reappointed?
yes. That's Chris, is that correct?
We have to reappoint
Good,
Joe Hendrick,
yep, got
Peter
it.
Pysick, and
Yes, these are reappointments.
Megan McCray.
So moved.
seconded,
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you and thanking them.
who, I'm thinking back, we had a meeting here that was probably back in July, and there was a fellow who was sitting here, and it was about, we talked about appointing him. And then we didn't have a recommendation, so we couldn't, the recommendation was made, but then because he wasn't on the,
Wasn't that Joe Hendrick?
was that?
That was Joe
That was
Hendrick.
Joe Hendrick.
Okay, then, excellent, we
He's
got
on.
it done, that was
Yeah.
stuck in my mind.
Very good. You've got a good head. What's interesting is Joe is also, he's part of the invasive
Species.
plants.
Have you seen that stuff? It's everywhere.
So you're
I'm
talking,
seeing it
you're talking about
everywhere.
the knotweed?
Yep.
So at the NECOG, I go to all the NECOG
Mhm.
meetings, and at the NECOG meeting, I mentioned it and said that we had a group that's formed. Every other selectman, mayor, whatever, that was there said, we've got the problem in our town, it's awful.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
So when we
I'm-
think
yeah.
that some of these gardening groups or invasive, that they're kind of extreme, they're not. They're
No.
looking at an extreme situation.
There is
And
just
this
everywhere.
plant chokes out
Yep.
other
Oh,
things.
yeah. No, I'm just, it's funny.
What's
to
it called down south? Kudra?
No, kudzu is down south, and that's not what this is.
Oh,
Kudzu
but
is
I know, but
unbelievable.
It's
Same thing.
unbelievable down there.
Yeah, I saw it
mean, it's
recently.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, I drove down to the
How do
shore
you pronounce
yesterday
it?
and it was everywhere.
Sorry,
How do you
Kudzu.
pronounce? I called it Kudra.
Kudzu,
Kazoo.
kudzu. I think it's KUDZU. And you know where I remember it from? From John Mitchum's book about South Africa.
Okay.
The form. That's where I learned the word. Okay. Discuss and act on ASCO donation agreement. I don't know if I got the full thing back from town council.
Last time we talked, which was ages ago. that was
Yes.
Gonna go to him and we hadn't heard anything.
No, and I kind of had it on a back burner for a while and then got it off to him. And let me just take a quick peek because I don't think he found anything onerous in it, as I think I had mentioned before. But we will wait until we actually have his formal thing back. He said he might tweak it a bit. And recognizing that some serious inroads had been made with the various groups, ASCO, et cetera. And the working relationships are pretty good. And for them to even put that together was kind of what's the word? A victory. To have something actually in writing that said
Yeah. if you
who
can
has
share
what
his
and what they're
comments with-
concerned about.
With Roger and I when you get them.
Okay. So I would like to make sure we get that done for our next meeting. Okay. What else do we
Tax
have?
refunds.
Tax refunds.
Oh,
You
big ass
received
sheet.
a sheet
Yep.
of them. So we're looking for a
I think I got it.
review of that
Yeah,
and then approval of the whole thing.
I have reviewed it and thereby approved the refunds for the list given the 17 individuals on the list or 17 items on the list.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
I,
Aye, thank you very much. Okay, we can have our executive session to discuss possible litigation and personnel. If you choose the personnel, I think you're aware of what that was about, and if there was any more discussion that you wanted to have about that,
I'd like
no
to-
litigation.
I'd
The
like to have
litigation-
a quick discussion about that,
you would like to have the executive session?
about the personnel. Yeah.
Okay,
Certainly,
I have
and
one
both.
question.
It's both.
should I call Alex in the morning and tell him?
No, we'll call him. We will definitely call him in the morning. Okay,
We
I
approved
will
it.
call him in the morning because I've been the one talking to him about it.
Approve it and we want to drop that date.
Okay, so, okay, so someone, this is to discuss possible litigation and personnel. It's actually two different topics.
Are we off?
I'm about to,
I will
um,
move, go into executive session to discuss possible litigation.
I'll second that.
what I am doing is I am muting this and I'm turning off the camera. When we come out of executive session, I am unmuting it and turning the camera back on in the event we are making any motions. So that we have